I woke up on a very cold, hard floor. I found my Uncle Jim and Jack lying beside me. Where are we? Jack asked. Dad, they are awake. The person named Tom said. Good, we can get some answers from them, his father said. Answers from us? I asked. Yes, answers from you, he replied. Better yet, I have some questions for you. Who are you? Where are you? And where are we? Why are we here? I asked. Those are some interesting questions there, Mac, he said. My name is Matt, and my son Tom, you, Jim, and Jack are here in my basement, and you're going to be test subjects, the person replied. Also, how did you know our names? I asked. Me and my son Tom have read about your weird experiences on Weird Experiences with Media, Matt replied. Matt Green, the person who got a game for the Nintendo Switch, called Mario and Sonic Adventures for the Dead House, then discovered a secret mode called Return to the Dead House, which continued where it left off, Matt explained. Jim Green, the person who bought the game, called Mario and Sonic on Quiet Hill from a thrift store that had to be closed down because of a person named Carl was murdered there. Matt continued to explain. And Jack Cooper, that person that brought Jurassic Park short story called Jurassic Park Extinctions from the Universal Studios at their Halloween event. Halloween Horror Nights, Matt continued once more. I've also been looking for people like my old friend Joey and his son Jeff, as well as two other people like Toby Edwards and Mark Lockie, Matt said. Just who are they? And what do you mean your friend Joey? Jack asked. My old friend and his son Joey and Jeff Keaton. Joey used to be my friend until me and him got to shut down the machine we have him through different 80s movies, Matt explained. Before that, my father, Chris Henderson, had invented to travel to the 70s movies, and when that backfired, it sent him to disturbing versions of his favorite 70s movies. Years later, me and Joey could use it to travel through the 80s movies, but they were disturbing versions, Matt continued. Then I would often kidnap him and send him to different versions of 1990s movies, and then my son Tom would use it on his son Jeff, but with disturbing 2000s movies. Matt continued again. Me and Tom were both arrested, but we did escape, and I even killed my own father, who helped me and Tom get arrested. Then we gave the machine some upgrades. Matt continued once more. What kind of upgrades? Jim asked. I gave it some upgrades where we can travel through all kinds of media, Matt replied, and then we would find them, Toby and Mark. We will unleash all sorts of mayhem, but right now, you three are my test subjects, Matt explained. Test subjects? I asked in anger. Then he pulled that he stole my one and only copy of Sonic, Nick, and Mario Adventures Through the Dead House. He also had my Uncle Jim's copy of Sonic and Mario on Quiet Hill, and he also assumed what I assumed to be Jack's book, Jurassic Park Extinction. I'm not going to use Mario and Sonic on Quiet Hill or Jurassic Park Extinction just yet, but I will use Mario and Sonic Adventures Through the Dead House, Matt said. Then we were transported into something odd. We found Oliver as a kid. We saw Oliver as a kid. He was being abused by two older hedgehogs, who I assumed was his parents. Go to your room, right now, you disgrace, the parent yelled. We saw Oliver run to what we think is his room, I thought to myself. Is this what led to Oliver to start a zombie apocalypse? Then we see him turn on the TV in his room, and we see him watching a movie. He's watching a movie that parodies Frankenstein, Jim said. Keep your voice down. He could have heard us, Jack said. Guys, I don't think they can hear us, because they didn't even see us, I said. We were then picked up by an unknown force. What's happening? Jack asked. I have a theory, Jim said. We are just in this cutscene and we're going to another cutscene, Jim theorized. But I don't remember Oliver as a kid though, I said. It must have been some bonus thing added by one of the creators, Jack said. Then we landed into another cutscene. We were in a school. We saw Oliver walk into a classroom before getting dragged around by bullies. They were calling him horrible names. After the terrible bullying, We see Oliver and Ace the classes he was in, but then we could see him go to his good class in his classes, even going to college to get a job at a lab. He was working alone with his lab until we saw him getting bullied again. He was so frustrated and fed up with the bully's crap. Okay, I've had enough of this crap, Oliver yelled, before storming out of the lab. He then went home and then started to thinking of experiments. Wait, that movie I watched as a kid, Franken Hedgehog, Oliver said. I will go to the cemetery, dig up some graves, and bring them back from the dead, then stick them to my enemies, Oliver continued. We saw him digging up some bodies from the cemetery. Then he would bring them to the lab and raise them from the dead. Freeze! A familiar voice yelled out. It was Winston and his wife Mistletoe, the three other original Hedgehog characters I didn't recognize. Hands where we can see them, Mistletoe said. Fools, you forgot something, Oliver said in a sinister tone. What did we forget? One of the unknown creatures said. Good question, Marty. You idiots forgot I had a gun, Oliver said, as he pulled out the gun and shot and killed Marty. You killed Marty! Another unknown character yelled. Maverick, wait! Winston yelled, before Maverick ended up having the same fate as Marty. Do not move, or I will blow your brains out, the last unknown character said. You really are a fool, aren't you, Gizmo? Oliver asked, before kicking him to the ground before shooting him. You monster! Mistletoe yelled. Then she pulled in the lever to release all the zombies in the lab. Some of the employees, including Winston and Mistletoe, would survive, but most of them would become the zombies. We then ended up running with Oliver. He was controlling the zombies. Then he would come to face with some of them in the mansion. So is that the dead house? Jim asked. Yes, I replied. Time to take out on this, Oliver said to himself. He would then pull down the zombies to the basement. I will have you here in case if they're intruders. I will bring you back up, Oliver said. Then time starts to go by very fast in the game. Then we could see Oliver looking out of the window and find the 8th main character from the beginning of the game. I see Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles, Jim said. What are their fools doing in my home? Oliver asked himself. Well, I will make them think that they will stay the night, Oliver continued talking to himself. Then we get teleported back to the lab, and then we could see Winston and Mistletoe talking to their boss. What the heck happened out there? The boss would ask. It's Oliver. He killed Marty, Maverick, and Gizmo, escaped the lab, and started the zombie outbreak, Mistletoe said. Well, I'm glad you came in. You know Oliver escaped and set the outbreak in London, England, their boss said. Well, I have this tracker so you'll be able to find Oliver and catch him, so he won't be causing any more horror anymore in London. I also have a medical robotic hedgehog named Heavy, in case if you get injured, he said, before dismissing them. Before leaving, Winston called for his mom to see if she would babysit their son Ray. The next thing, we find Mario, Luigi, Peach, Sonic and Tails and Amy and Knuckles again, but not at the mansion. Well, is everyone ready to go to Speed Park? Mario asked. I sure am, Sonic said. Well then, let's go and get walking, Luigi said. Yeah, Tails added. So when do you think we'll be able to get there? Peach asked. I have no clue, Amy said. We'll get there when we get there, Knuckles said. Yoshi would get very excited too. Somebody's getting a tad bit excited, huh? Peach would say. It would then cut to a few hours later, when they would get lost. We will be needing a place to get out of the rain and stay for the night, Mario said. Agreed, Sonic said. Look, I see someone in the window, meaning someone's home, Luigi said. Maybe we could ask him or her if we could stay, Tails said. As they walked towards the mansion, they were talking amongst themselves. Wow, this place is creepy, Sonic says. Yeah, why would they recommend this place as to stay? Mario asked. Well, we'll have a place to stay until tomorrow, Luigi says. If we stay here for the night, we'll be able to get some sleep, so we all won't be cranky before going to Speed Park, Tails says. Well, I'm tired, so where's the owner of this house? I'm getting kinda tired, Peach said, while yawning. Yeah, when we find the other owner of this house, he will lead us to our rooms, Amy says. Oliver then comes in. Hello, welcome to my home. Why did you come to my home? Oliver asked. We needed a place to stay, Knuckles said. Fair enough. You all must stay here for a night only, and let me help you with your bags, and I'll be getting dinner ready for my guests because you guys may be hungry, Oliver said. And my name is Oliver, if you're all wondering, he continued. 2 people per bedroom, Oliver said. Good night, because tomorrow you ain't escaping, Oliver whispered to himself. Mario and Sonic went to the room where the beds were. Then all Mario and Sonic got to the room and saw a dead body, and it was revealed to be a zombie. Oh no, there's a zombie! We need to get out, Mario said, panicking. Agreed, Sonic said, while also panicking. Then Mario and Sonic ran out of the room, and they found Luigi and Tails already dead. Oh no, Mario said. We need to check the bodies to see what happened, Sonic said. So when Mario and Sonic went to check the bodies, both of Luigi and Tails, they found bite marks, and they thought it was from those zombies that Mario and Sonic encounter. Mario, I think we may be in a house full of zombies, Sonic said. Meanwhile, with Peach and Amy, they were terrified what they saw that the zombies were after them. So they ran out of their room and met up with Mario and Sonic. Luigi and Tails are dead, Mario said with tears, and then they found Knuckles and Yoshi dead. Then all 4 of them checked to see if a zombie had bitten them. And then all of a sudden, there were zombies, including zombies of Luigi, Tails, Yoshi, and Knuckles surrounding Mario, Sonic, Peach, and Amy. Guys, if we all die, who will be the people to save the Mushroom Kingdom? Peach asked. Who will save Green Hill Zone? Amy asked. Then we see the zombies killing Mario, Sonic, Peach, and Amy. I knew they were all going to die and become zombies, Oliver said, as then he let out an evil laugh. After Oliver let out that evil laugh, me, Jim, and Jack were being lifted up again, and then teleported to where Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Sonic, Tails, and Amy were. Instead, we see Mario and Sonic's friends set out to find them. Look, Toad, Toadette, Princess Daisy, Rosalina, Luma, Toadsworth, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Cranky Kong, Funky Kong, and Silver, Blaze, Charmy, Espio, Victor, Cream, Cheese, Shadow, Omega, Rouge, and Big, Jim said. Yeah, and they're getting ready to find Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles, I told Jim. We need to focus on finding Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, Toad said in a very bossy tone of voice. They're probably out there cold, hungry, or dead. I just hope they're not dead, Silver whispers to himself. I sure hope the same, Blaze says to Silver. Hey, there's the bus. It's coming this way, Espio said. When he sees the bus, then the remaining heroes get on the bus and ride to where their lost friends could be. Later it started raining, and the bus broke down because it got stuck in the mud. It's okay. I've got some tools to repair this bus. Here, this will only take a couple of moments, the bus driver said, and when he got out the bus to fix it. So our remaining heroes just waited patiently on the bus, and they talked a little bit while waiting for the bus driver to repair the bus to get it up and running again. Until they heard a loud scream and found zombies and a zombie that is eating the bus driver. Run! Save yourselves! The bus driver screamed. So the remaining heroes ran until they're tired and found the same mansion Oliver lives in where Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy died. But they didn't know if they were dead or not. Well, it looks like we have some visitors, I assume. They are here for friends of the 8 that stayed here a month ago, Oliver said in a sinister tone. We then cut back to Winston and Mistletoe, and they were running from the zombies. They were running, killing zombies, and they had continued to walk until they found the same mansion. They checked the tracker their boss gave it to them, and it confirmed that Oliver was in the mansion. But before we could watch them kick down from the door in perspective, we were back in the remaining friends inside the mansion.